Like this way. All right, cool. Hi everyone, welcome. I'm looking this way because I have a second screen, so I want to be able to see you, but I will look this way when I'm presenting. But thanks for joining us today for the Unitary Hack Kickoff. It's really exciting to see how many of you are here with us today and have registered for the hackathon over the next 2 weeks. So today is very much about introducing the hackathon, some of the rules, introducing you to our maintainers, many of whom are on video right now and will be speaking later on. So bear with us, it's for an hour, and then we'll let you all go on your ways and decide what you want to do. So just to, also my name is Veena, in case you haven't met me yet. Cool. So just to level set and set an agenda for this hour, I will do a 15-minute intro to unitaryHACK and all the expectations. So I'll go over the projects that are participating, go over a few resources and expectations that we will have a view, so to make sure that we are all aligned. I will go over the AI policy review, which is our AI policy, which is our new policy we put in place for this year. And then we'll talk about some of the additional events. So basically what you can expect over the next 2 weeks, essentially. We will then spend about 30 minutes talking to the maintainers, having each maintainer, not all of them, we have 50 something projects at this point, but a few select maintainers who were able to kind of donate some of their time to today are going to talk for about 3 minutes each about their project and what you can kind of expect by working with them. And then we will do a HACKday spotlight, hopefully, if our colleague is here. And then we'll have the rest of the hour for Q&A. So hopefully that helps. So again, welcome to unitaryHACK. I'm going to do a quick intro to all of this. This is our 6th edition of the program, which means our 6th year. And whether you are someone who is brand new or someone who has been with us for the last 6 years, welcome. We're excited to have you with us. Thank you for joining. And as part of unitaryHACK26, we have about 46 participating projects, with more being added over the next few days. So thank you to all the maintainers who are overseeing these again. We have 90 plus maintainers, which I'm hoping that many of you will have the opportunity to meet them throughout these 2 weeks and build relationships, form collaborations, and maybe continue contributing to them, their work after the hackathon. As of this morning, we have 800 plus registered hackers, which is really exciting. This is the largest that we've had at this point of the hackathon in the history of unitaryHACK. So getting bigger each year, which is really exciting. And yeah, so that's kind of our quick overview. I'm going to go into the project. So where are these various projects coming from? We have maintainers that are part of open source projects that are from companies and startups around the world. We have people, and they're kind of representing industry. We have people who from national labs around the US who are kind of representing academia and research. And then we have micrograntees of the Unitary Foundation and other open source projects that have been partners of ours for over the years. So just to show you that there is like a large breadth of projects coming from all over, which is really exciting. And depending on what your interest is, you might be able to find someone that you could work with throughout the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to go through this quickly, but we have various programming languages that the projects are using. So depending on what you're interested in, what you know best, you can kind of find the projects that you can contribute to more easily. We do have tags on the unitaryHACK website once the bounty page goes live. So yeah, just again, to show you how diverse our projects are. And this is our full list so far, which will continue to grow. And you will hear from about 10 of these maintainers today. So hold off for that. So this is the big piece of my talk today, which is just going through what are the expectations of the
Hey, Veena,
yeah.
I think your slides aren't shared.
Thank you. I stopped sharing when. Oh, is that the right thing? Yes, thank you. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back so you guys can see all the cool graphics. There you go. Yay, fun. Thanks for just looking at my face and listening to me. I appreciate you guys paying attention. And then, yeah, these are the projects, programming languages. These are all of our projects. Um, and then, okay, so now we're going to go into the hacker workflow. I'm glad you guys stopped me here because this is where we need to be very visual. So again, going through the expectations here, and sort of the resources that we provide to you all as hackers. So we do ask that you familiarize yourselves with our various guides. So if you go to unitaryHACK.dev, there is a drop-down section called guides, and you have to read them. That is an important step of this. There are no TLDRs. You just really have to familiarize yourself just to make sure you are aligning with our expectations and you're not at risk of being disqualified from an issue or a repo or the hackathon itself, right? So just make sure we are all aligned. So we're going to do a quick overview of the hacker guide itself. And you can see that. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to go through every bit of this because that is what I want you all to do, but I will do a few highlights from the hacker guide. So the preparation section is very much something you need to do on your own, depending on what level you're at when it comes to open source contributions. But we do provide different tools as well as tools to make sure you are properly contributing on GitHub. But also we have some fun tools that you can brush up on your quantum skills too, or learn from various partners of ours and collaborators of ours. So really do look through these resources. And if you have additional questions, you can always ping me on Discord and I can kind of navigate you to the right resources depending on what your questions are. So what we're going to focus on today is this phase 2 during the hack. So everything that you should be doing starting today going forward. So the first is just a suggestion to join the Discord channel. It's where, or the Unitary Foundation Discord server. It's where all of our maintainers are. It's where the Unitary Foundation staff is. If you want to find collaborators or ask questions or, find things that you're excited about, the Discord is the best place to do it. We will also be hosting various office hours from our maintainers here too, which I will talk about a little bit later in the presentation. So the second piece, find your issue. So, as I said, we have tags on the website. You can find different issues through GitHub and the Unitary Foundation website. All of these will go live very soon. But what I wanted to point out under this section are 2 rules. The first is please only comment on 3 to 4 projects per day. This is a rule that has been continuing on with unitaryHACK. This is to make sure that you are not overwhelming the maintainers, but you're also not overwhelming yourself, right? Because you're going to get responses to each of these comments. So this is to kind of keep spamming from happening. The second part of this is what we call the squatting rule. This is something we've seen in past years, and we're really trying to avoid it. So we ask that you not claim issues by saying, I'm working on it, or dibs on this, or I got this. You can work on your PR and submit it without discouraging others from supporting the maintainers as well, right? I think we've had challenges in previous years where someone dibs it and then they decide they don't want to work on that issue anymore, and then that maintainer gets no submissions, right? So we want to be respectful of other people's times and allow others to participate as well. So yeah, that is the squatting rule. I'm going to go to the next part as part of submitting your PR. The big one I want to point out here is the PR limit rule, which is something that we have continued from previous years as well. So we ask that you not have more than 4 open pull requests at one time on unitaryHACK issues. So we do have a bot this year that is going through. We also have very diligent hackers that have been with our community for a long time that also ping me when they see people breaking this rule specifically. So just don't do it. And also, this is something that's new under the PR limit rule section. We are asking everyone to keep their GitHub contribution activity set to public during the hack. Just to keep people honest, right? Just throughout the 2 weeks of the hackathon. So, if a maintainer sees suspicious activity and they go to a hacker's profile and it's private, that is grounds for them to disregard a PR. So don't let that stop you from winning a bounty, right? Yeah, and the rest of this I will let you all read through. There are some great other tips and tricks to make sure you are following proper etiquette for the hackathon. Okay, so from there, I'm going to jump into the AI guide, AI policy. As I said, this is something that is brand new this year. And this is something that we have been working with the maintainers of previous hackathons and this year's to try and build something that is still encouraging AI collaboration, but is not rewarding people that are fully dependent on the LLM and are just using bots to participate. So what we're following is something called a human in the loop policy. This is not created by us. This is something that exists already. And we want to make sure that we are respecting the maintainer's times, right? Like the main takeaway from this is there are people behind these repos that are evaluating every individual PR, and we want to make sure that they're not getting burnt out by looking at like thousands and thousands of lines of code that you haven't reviewed, right? So I'm not gonna go into the big details of this. I want you all to read it on your own, but I want to show you that there is, these are high value AI contributions. These are what we consider AI and cheating. And we even have an actual workflow. So once you're submitting a PR, if they hit every single one of these steps of this workflow, you should be good to go, right? So yeah, there's quite a few in here, a few things in here. This is a work in progress, right? So as a maintainer or as a hacker, if you have comments on this, I'm always open to listening and updating this for future years as well. So, but for this year, this is what we got. Please abide by this. And I do want to read this one line here just to really drive home what we're trying to get at. So a note on burnout, maintainers are the backbone of the quantum world, especially in open source. When you submit unverified AI code, you're asking a human to do the hard work of debugging your bot. Be a contributor, not a burden. Awesome. Okay, so these are the few different, let me make sure I'm going full screen again. Okay, cool. These are the different pieces that are like the guides that we have available on the website again. Please do read through them. To review, we have the 3 to 4 comments per day rule, right? 3 to 4 comments on repos per day. 4 PR max rule, no squatting or calling dibs, right? And keep your profile public during the hackathon. The other thing I wanted to mention is some maintainers won't close out their PRs for the first week, so they may only start responding on Monday. That's just their review process. Others will, see a response and think like they know it's the right fit for them, and they will close it out. So give them time to respond. If someone doesn't fit into your workflow, like if you want to move much faster, just move on to a different project. There are plenty of issues out there. And you can find the people that align with you best. But we ask that you not pester maintainers if they haven't responded to you in like a day, right? They're working at the pace that their repo has set over the years, right? So, and then the last thing is please use the channel on Discord. There are always ways that you can get in contact with me or the other organizers or a maintainer. And Discord is usually the easiest and the most transparent. Okay, just quickly going through additional events because I'm moving over time. But we have maintainer office hours this year. This is something new. So over the 2 weeks of the hack, we have 1 hour sessions with a few of our maintainers that you can have face-to-face time with, and you can ask them questions if you're working on their repo. And all of these live on the events page on Discord. So yeah, you'll be able to find it through there. We have global in-person gatherings this year. We have about 17 of them around the world. And all of these live on the homepage of the unitaryHACK website. So if there's something local to you, there is an RSVP link. You can sign up and you can show up over the next 2 weeks. And then agenda for all of these can also be found in the community guide, which once I stop presenting, I will drop it into the chat. But you'll be able to find it. We're sharing it on socials and elsewhere as well. I see that there's chats coming in. I will respond to them afterwards because I can't see. So again, here's our hacker guide, our AI policy. You can scan these, but you can also just go to unitaryHACK.dev and you'll be able to find them. And code of conduct. So a note on the code of conduct, Unitary Foundation has a code of conduct that lives on our repository, and unitaryHACK falls underneath our code of conduct. So we do ask that you familiarize yourself. So if you're going to scan any QR code, scan this one. But as part of that, each of our maintainers have codes of conduct for their repositories as well, right? So make sure you do take a look at it. You familiarize yourself with their docs, because not abiding by something that is a rule for participating on their repo is another grounds for disqualification. So just make sure that you don't have to know every single word of it. You're not getting tested, but just make sure you're familiar with it, right? Whoever you're collaborating with, just to be polite and respectful. All right, so I talked as fast as I could. And I went a little over, but we are gonna now meet the maintainers, and let me just put them all up here first. So just a note again, we have so many more maintainers in this, but we couldn't fit everybody into this hour, but we did want to give some of them a little bit of time to talk about their projects. And so maintainers, I will basically call each of you up at a time, and you have about 3 minutes. You don't have to use the whole 3 minutes, but you can use up to 3 minutes, and you can talk about your work. You can talk about yourself too, talk about your work, and then any issues that you may be excited about on your project as well. Whatever you want the hackers to know about is what we're going for here. And then in the Q&A we can address some of the questions as well. So we're gonna start, and this is the order too. No slides, this is the order. Cool. Kate, you're up first.
Amazing. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'm Kate. I'm the head of product at Harmonics, and I'm joined by our CTO, Jack. And so we build quantum optimal control software, and our open source optimization engine is called Piccolo.jl. You can see on the screen. It's the foundation of our stack, and it essentially takes in a quantum gate and a device profile and finds the optimal control pulse to execute it. And we also have Stretto, which lives a level above, and it compiles entire circuit blocks directly into a single optimized pulse, which is great because you really get to just circumnavigate the conventional gate decomposition process. And so for Piccolo, we have two bounties. We have a dual rail encoding type that makes it easy to set up these dual rail encoding gate problems without manually computing subspace indices, and a literate tutorial comparing all three pulse parameterizations. So we have smooth, spline, and bang bang on a 2-qubit gate with quantum toolbox validation. And then for Stretto, we have three. An FFT pulse spectrum analyzer, so you can check the frequency content before running anything on hardware. And then an open CHASM3 parser, so that circuits from Qiskit, Cirq, or UCC can flow directly in. And then lastly, we have an IBM Heron R2 device profile alongside the existing R3 device profile. So if any of this sounds interesting, come find us. We're running these packages actively on real quantum hardware. So it's a really cool thing to be a part of, and please check it out. So thanks.
Thanks, Kate. All right, up next, we've got Astryd. Are you? Yes, you are. Awesome.
Yes. Hey everyone, I'm Astryd, who is a quantum applications engineer at Moth, which is a quantum computing startup based in London, UK. And for us, we mainly focusing on how to bring the quantum computing algorithms and etc. to the creative industries. So our project is called Quantum Brush. And while you are studying the code of our open source tool, you can not only see how the app is built for open source contribution, but also you can deep dive into how can you start building up your own quantum algorithms, and you can bring that idea as a format of a visual effect, which is called basically a quantum brush. So I hope you have fun on our issues, and I hope it's kind of unique because it's mainly focusing on the visual effects about the quantum algorithms. So if anyone has any interest in creative computing, like myself, who studied MSc creative computing at University of the Arts London, CCI, it's a deep dive into it. And if you have any questions about how can I even start contributing this, especially towards how to build a quantum brush, or have any suggestions or any questions, just drop me an email or anything. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thanks, Astryd. Next up, we have Manuel.
Hey y'all, I'm Manuel. I'm a finishing PhD student at EPFL in Switzerland, and I'm the maintainer of PauliPropagation.jl. And PauliPropagation is a kind of new method for simulating quantum circuits at scale. It's been popularized by the so-called utility experiment by IBM about 3 years ago. And in the last year and two, these kind of Pauli-based or sparse representation-based simulation tools came out for simulating quantum circuits. And I'm really happy that PauliPropagation has really caught on, that it is being used now to benchmark large-scale experiments as well. It's part of research activities as well. And I'm just going to post, because Veena mentioned this in the email. I'm just going to post the link to the repo and the link to the paper, even if you're not going to contribute to the code, because maybe that's over your head a bit. I'd still feel free to check out the PDF of our paper where we explain kind of like very educationally, hopefully, just like how PauliPropagation works, how propagation algorithms work for simulating quantum circuits, and just to bring into this mindset of how you can simulate quantum computers at scale. And we are just happy. You have 4 issues open, with one very heavy focus on GPU acceleration of PauliPropagation. It's a really fun topic, but also there are like some documentation and some just kind of like usability and performance issues as well. So feel free to contribute. And yeah, thanks if you do.
Thanks, Manuel. All right, up next is Lukas.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lukas. I'm the CTO of MQSC, also a postdoc at the Technical University of Munich, and I'm the main maintainer for the Munich Quantum Toolkit, or MQT. It's a collection of open source tools that has been around for quite a while, so some of the repositories go back 7 years plus by now. And what we try to do is to develop high quality, high performance open source quantum software for the entire stack. There's a couple of interesting topics that came up for this unitaryHACK now that are now issues to be tackled. 2 of them are kind of next level programs, dynamic quantum circuits that use measurement in the middle of the circuit to kind of shrink down the resources that you need to run algorithms. We have a circuit library called MQT Bench where we provide these algorithms to people to benchmark their tools. 2 new algorithms are to be added. Each one is an issue to be tackled, so definitely have fun with that. Next level down is everyone's talking about compilers and next level compilers. MLR is the new hot shit in the community. We're working on compiler infrastructure since quite a while, and there's an option to contribute there for making it a little bit more accessible. And the third thing that many people in the community currently also talk about is quantum HPC integration. Like, how do these big boxes fit into existing infrastructure? And we have one more open issue there for contributing a little part when it comes to actually integrating and running QIR on a simulator and how that ties into the overall ecosystem. We love contributions. We love all of you. Have fun in the hackathon. Reach out anytime.
Thanks, Lucas. All right, on to Eduardo.
Hey, yeah, I'm Eduardo. I'm a software developer working on HAT. HAT is a quantum programming language with a high level of abstraction. So basically, we tend to hide some physics out of the code, and then developers can more intuitively work on using quantum resources. And yeah, we have 4 PRs open, or 4 issues open, that I'm going to paste in the comments as well, as Veena mentioned. So yeah, everyone that is interested in compilers, programming languages, and yeah, basically exploring this interface with quantum and classical is very welcome to participate. Yeah, most of the issues are in Rust, but there is one in particular that you can also use Python as well. So if you want to learn Rust, or if you are eager to contribute somehow with a new language, you are welcome also. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you are up to, not only on HAT, but on all these amazing projects that we have this year. And yeah, welcome.
Thanks, Eduardo. Up next is Stefan. I see you. Awesome.
Hey, folks. My name is Stefan Krastanov. I'm a professor at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. I'm also the director of the virtual testbed at the NSF Center for Quantum Networks. That's one of the bigger NSF-funded collaborations in the US focusing on quantum networking technologies. In terms of our participation here in the hackathon, some of our main focuses are really on interoperability between tools, visualizations. I frequently use contributions of visualization tooling as an onboarding exercise for new students. So we have bounties in that context. I personally am pretty active in the Julia community. A lot of the tooling that we're building is using that language. And there are a few projects under our umbrella that we have, and you can see on the Hackathon's website. They have around stabilizer method simulations of interest for error correcting codes, entanglement distillation, some simple networking. However, also around more general purpose simulations using the state vector formalism, this default, very expensive but very expressive formalism. And we also are supporting some network simulation tooling where you can also introduce some more classical computer science, networking protocols, control logic, and so on. We try to be pretty welcoming to newcomers, and well, thanks for participating.
Thanks, Stefan. Amazing. All right. Up next, my co-organizer, Alessandro.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Alessandro. I'm the maintainer of Metriq. Yeah, as Veena said, I'm a member of technical staff at Unitary Foundation, so also the co-organizer of the hackathon. So I'm biased to say it's a great hackathon and people have enjoyed it in the past. Yeah, back to our project. It's a platform for quantum benchmarking. I think along with maybe MQT Bench, is one of the few projects on about benchmarking at unitaryHACK. So if you are not familiar with quantum benchmarking, you can just imagine things like Geekbench or LinPack in classical computer. This is sort of the quantum equivalent of that. And we have two components on this platform that for which we offer bounties. One is a web component, so for which you don't even need to know much quantum to contribute, both in the bounties, but also in general, even outside of the hackathon, is a TypeScript project, whatever language maybe don't matters anymore. But it's a web app you can contribute to. And we offer one bounty there. The second, and that's a website. I can post the link on a website on which we show the benchmark results. The second project for which we offer, the second component for which we offer 4 bounties is Metriq Gym, which is a Python toolkit for actually defining those benchmarks protocol, defining their configuration and running them on hardware or simulator. Yeah, one important thing is that for all our bounties, you don't need any access to quantum hardware to any provider. You can, if we have defined them correctly, you can test them and publish your PR just with access to local simulators. And yeah, I'll post the links here, and I hope you enjoy.
Thanks, Alessandro. All right, to Nicolas Lepage.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicolas. I'm a scientific computational engineer at Alice & Bob. So we're a Paris-based startup with the aim of building the first fault-tolerant quantum computer. And to do this, we use cat qubits, which are a special type of superconducting qubits that use the physics to correct part of the errors for us. And so this leads to error correction with a much lower qubit count than concurrent approaches. So at Alice & Bob, we have built our own simulation engine that is called Dynamics, and it's the project for this hackathon. It's a custom open quantum system simulation library that has a few features. First, it's Python-based and looks a bit like Qtip, so it's quite easy to use, at least for the AI. But underneath, it's all in JAX, which means that we have a JIT XLA compilation for super fast linear algebra. We have a GPU acceleration for to leverage the matrix multiplication-based hardware. And we also support natively batching of simulations for parameter sweeps. And finally, very importantly, we have a native gradient enablement with auto-differentiation, which means we can do optimization, we can do uncertainty quantification, and we can do machine learning as well. So this is used every day at Alice & Bob, but also some other people use the software as it's open source. And for the hackathon, we have 5 issues. They are varying in complexity, so I think everyone can find what they want. And they have also a different level of skills. Some are more quantum-based, some are more applied math-based, and some are more software-based. And so, yeah. Maybe just there's 2 issues that I found that we want to stress and we find the most interesting, the 2 biggest ones. So one is for we have stochastic solvers for open quantum systems to enable embarrassingly parallel parallel computation. And for this, we need a set of tests and to ramp up our competence in tests. And the second issue that is interesting for us is we want an issue about having a complete benchmark of all our numerical methods on 5 different quantum problems that I published. And so this will enable us to see how which methods are the best and how our library evolves through time. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicolas. Moving on to David.
Thanks, Veena. Hi, everybody. I'm David Wren. I'm very excited to be here to talk about our Penny Lane bounties for unitaryHACK. In case you didn't know, Penny Lane is an open source quantum software framework that is meant for you to create meaningful quantum algorithms from inspiration to implementation very quickly. We have 3 bounties open right now, and they're all about making our code more useful to the community. So all of these are requests from the community, actually, and we'll talk about them right now. They're in the chat. So the first is about extending qp.tracker to be more visible and more debuggable. Just as a side note, recently we started to import PennyLane as QP, short for quantum programming, instead of QML. We've got a blog post about that. This first bounty is about really making sure that the qp.tracker object that tracks circuit executions is debuggable. So it's good for someone who is relatively newer to PennyLane Python or GitHub. Our second bounty is about automating documentation testing for our shadows module. The shadow module implements classical shadow measurement, just for your information. This is part of our CI infrastructure. So if you're looking to get involved with that, I know the personal and research projects, coding projects don't have to deal with that typically. Our third bounty is worth the most, but it is most complicated. It is about extending our inspection tools to work with partial freezing of a circuit. All of these features that I've mentioned are requested from the community, but this one is perhaps the most requested. You can see more of the details in the PR itself. Just be aware that it's a little bit trickier. Finally, we have a limited edition PennyLane badge up for grabs for completing the challenge in the link. We wanted to celebrate unitaryHACK, so you have until June 17th, actually, to complete it to get the badge. After that, the badge will never show up ever again. So I hope you have fun hacking. I hope you have fun addressing our issues, and we look forward to seeing you on GitHub.
Thanks, David. Awesome. And Nicolas L.
Hi, I'm Nicolas. I'm a postdoc at Niels Bohr Institute in Copenhagen, and I will present PauliStrings.jl. So it's a Julia package for simulating quantum many-body systems in the PauliString basis. So the idea is that your object, like quantum object, like matrices and operators, they are represented as PauliStrings, and then the strings, they are really like strings of symbols like X, Y, Z. And it happens that you can do all the quantum mechanics in this way with these strings. Like initially we developed this to actually compute successive commutators. So you have like two matrix and compute their commutator, and then the commutator of the commutator, and the commutator of the commutator of the commutator, etc. But it happened that turned out it's actually very good at like just computing dynamics and like simulating quantum circuits. So I think it's like a very fun project for because it's like very user friendly, easy to use. Because with this polystring, when you print operators, when you print these matrices, you can actually read what they are. Like you can read like some symbols X, Y, Z, and it's not like in matrix or tensor networks simulators where if you print a matrix, then it means nothing. It's just a list of numbers, right? But so I think it's like very nice for people who are new to quantum mechanics because it's like a quite pedagogical way to visualize what's going on in quantum systems and to visualize what quantum operations are doing to quantum objects. So the package is mostly built on operator data type, so a kind of a matrix data type, but that is not represented as a matrix, but as a sum of these polystrings. And then it implements all the linear algebra operations on this data type. And I think also it's quite nice for people who come from like more computer science side because there's no linear algebra actually involved. All the stuff, the computation is mapped to logic, so Boolean logics. So I think it's quite cool because then it's like you do quantum mechanics with just Boolean logic. So we have 6 bounties that range from some more basic documentation issues to more like mathy and maybe most group theoretical adjacent stuff. So I hope you have fun with polystrings. Yeah.
Thanks, Nicholas. Amazing. So that was all of our maintainers. Thank you all again. Again, as I said, we had 10 people present today, but there are 90 maintainers that are participating this year with the 40 plus projects. So I know somebody mentioned they've been capturing the links. All of these will exist on the unitaryHACK website too. So right after this call, we're going to push that out live, but you all got some direct links for joining us early. So I want to make one more introduction. I'm going to actually go off of screen share just because it doesn't make sense now, but second. Awesome. So I want to say, as part of unitaryHACK, we've been running what we call HACKdays, which are these in-person global events. And something that unitaryHACK or Unitary Foundation did recently was we published a paper with UNESCO, and one of the big theses that came out of it, or one of the big data points that came out of it, was a lot of the global south is often left out of access to quantum and open source quantum. So we're really excited to announce this collaboration that we have with the African Quantum Consortium. And they have quite a few chapters of their consortium holding HACKdays throughout Africa. And so we have our colleague Atadana Sogodam, who is going to talk just maybe 5 minutes max, a little bit about AQC and your HACKdays this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Veena, for having us. And yes, I am Atadana, the operations lead at the AQC. And just a quick overview of what the AQC is, and shout out to some of the maintainers over here. So heads up, we are not maintainers, we are community builders, a Pan-African institution working to grow quantum research, education, and policy capacity across the continent. Veena has already given us some context on why we're here. So when unitaryHACK26 was announced, we saw the opportunity, and we thought we should not show up as few isolated participants, each working alone. So we should show up through communities, organized, visible, and ready to contribute. And that's what has necessitated this conversation. And through our Quantum Champions model, 26 quantum ambassadors based on university campuses across the continent and growing, they are students and early career researchers who already have the trust of their peers and the energy to build something local as unitaryHACK26 requires. It's very important for us because it means students are not just trying to enter the global quantum open source community from margins alone, unsure whether they belong. It's very important because they will be in rooms with peers, solving real problems, committing to issues, and getting some bounties. So to Veena and the Unitary Foundation team, thank you for taking this proposal seriously, and shout out to Ben, who is over here from Xanadu. And in a couple of days, I believe 2 days later, we'll be having another program together. So the community is growing, collaborations are growing. And shout out to Lukas as well. Mark Jack is an advisor to the AQC, and you guys have met at MQSF. He sends his regards, and looking forward to students contributing to your problems and seeing how we can expand this through unitaryHACK, which has brought us together. And to Manuel Rudolph, who is a former Zapatista, Mark as well give us those hints. So it's a community and a community. Thank you for having us. You made room for a model that is not merely inclusive in language, but practical in execution. To everyone participating from Quantum Champions chapter, Sarah, you are represented here from Tunisia. I'm doing phenomenal work with the Tunisian Students Union. You're not just an add-on to the unitaryHACK, you are part of the unitaryHACK. The same repositories, same boundaries, same standards, the opportunity to produce work worth merging. So thank you very much once again for having us, and best of success to all participating. Thank you.
Thank you, Atadana. And I didn't realize you were connected to so many people already. That's wonderful. Yeah, just showing you know, how much we're building out community too. So I appreciate that. So yeah, that is the African Quantum AQC hack days are just one piece of a larger program. So you know, we have a few in New York City, we have a one in Paris, we have one in at Alto. So if you take a look at the unitaryHACK homepage, please do scroll down and you'll see if there's one in your area. And I did see a question about if you want to host one yourself, just ping me on Discord. I will share my Discord information below too, and we can set up a hack day together for you. Cool. So we are now at Q&A. We have about 15 minutes. I'm going to let you all, you know, if you want to turn your video on, you can, or if you just want to unmute and ask questions. We do have other maintainers aside from the ones that have presented. I think I saw Luciano in here. I saw a few others in here. Brad's in here. Vincent's in here. So if you have general questions for the maintainers, or if you have specific ones from the presenters today, please do ask now. And I will scroll through the chat to make sure nothing else is missed. And thank you also to our various community members that were answering questions in the chat too. Appreciate you all. Okay, if nobody has questions, we can end early. Anybody? Okay, all right. We will have this recorded too, so in case anyone needs to you know, watch again or be reminded of things. I also recognize some of these, the chat won't be saved, so I will share the content guide in the unitaryHACK channel so you all have access. There are, you know, links and assets if you want to share that you've participated. And it has all of our schedules too for our office hours and our hack days and things like that. So cool. It was great to meet you all. Thank you, maintainers, for taking the time again. And happy hack. Excited to work with you all.
Happy hacking.
Bye. Thank you.
Have fun.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.